Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here today. As most of you know, on 31st of July, around 10:45 a.m., there was a series of explosions at the Exxon Mobil Baytown plant, followed by a fire, what we believe in the propylene recovery unit. Um, Based on initial investigation or understanding of the incident, propylene is a chemical that contains propane that we all know is a very flammable material, and there was an emission into the atmosphere, an unplanned emission, which obviously found an ignition source or multiple ignition sources, causing at least two explosions and subsequent fires. I represent Mr. Coronel, who's a contractor at the plant, along with John and Joe Ziad. And he talked more in detail about his injuries and his what he experienced, and our client will himself also explain to you all what happened. But what we do know is that these incidents at these refineries, chemical plants in Deer Park and Pasadena, frankly all over Texas, are just becoming more and more frequent, and we seem like we're having to file suit on behalf of our clients in these cases to, number one, protect their rights, and number two, to ensure these type of things don't happen. With that, I'll hand it over to John. John, if you could please make some remarks, and then we'll hand it over to our client.
Thanks, Mo. My name is John
Hold
J.
on a second.
We're gonna move
Mics,
some of these
yeah.
mics.
You wanna move them over? Ethan?
Yes, move it, please. We'll move it again.
And then we'll move them back here, John, when you're done.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to echo my co-counsel's statements today, Mr. Mo Aziz, on behalf of Mr. Coronel, and my associate here, Joe Zade. We're gonna be representing this young man who was involved in was at the Exxon plant in Baytown this past Wednesday when an explosion occurred. He suffered some injuries, and like Mo said, my firm's been handling cases like this for about 17 years now. There's been several plant explosions here lately. Just this past year, I believe there's been 3 or 4 different incidents. This has become a concern. I grew up, as well as Joe, we grew up in the Pasadena area. We have a presence in Pasadena, LaPorte, Deer Park area, and we're seeing this happen more and more often. It's become a concern. It's become a concern for the community. This is an issue that's ongoing, and we gladly want to represent Mr. Coronel and see what happened at this plant and try to find out who the responsible parties are to help him out. Like I said, he suffered some injuries along with a lot of other employees that work with him, co-employees. So once again, we want to thank you for being here today, and we want to have Mr. Coronel speak a little bit about what happened.
Just let me move these.
Well, that day I got to work, just like every other day, I ate some breakfast, drinking my coffee. I heard the first bang, the first blast. I thought it was something else, like a release valve or something. So I got up, and at that time, me and this other guy, we're looking at each other like, man, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, he was just run. So by that time, there was in total about maybe 5-6 guys. We start running from the loft, from the rigging loft. So we're running, and that second explosion, it was loud. It just, I thought I was burning alive pretty much. So I started peeling off my clothes and just running towards the gate. That third blast, it was just, it rocked the ground. And at that point in time, I fell, I started rolling. I busted my face in the concrete and was just rolling. I got up, and I was toast. I was pretty much burnt, but I kept running towards the gate, and by that time it was like 200 or 300 people just in a frantic, screaming and trying to get out of there, and so we hit the gate, and the first thing I did, I got out of there. I went to the rally point, and once I was at the rally point, that's when I got a little medical attention and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was pretty intense.
Where did you go for medical attention?
Well, they brought in Baytown Fire Department and paramedics, where they was like on site, and then from there, they had transported me to their what they call, I guess, burn specialist or something like that. It was occupational health care, diagnostics, something like that in Deer Park.
How would you describe your burns?
They hurt.
First degree, second degree?
They said they were second and third.
So when you hear that, the plant manager says everyone had minor injuries,
Mhm.
first degree burns, kind of played it down.
Yeah.
You have someone who went through what you went through. What is your first thought? What do you say to him?
Yeah, no, that's not true, because if that was the case, I mean, I wouldn't be hurting as bad as I am now. So
And let me just address that, ma'am. With regard to the extent and nature of injuries, the photographs that we have, and we'll provide this to you, they kind of speak for themselves.
Hair loss.
This and burns. You've got multiple burns and blisters. Mr. Coronel was actually supposed to be taken to the ER, but he was not. He was refused treatment and was transferred instead to this clinic. And the only reason I can think of is that they did not want multiple workers to be admitted to the hospital, because that has some OSHA implications for Exxon. So again, people can be objective, doctors can be objective, but we have second and third degree burns that the man suffered, and should have been taken to the hospital. So
When you say refused, he was refused treatment at the hospital. Can you elaborate on that? Did they refuse to take him to the hospital? Did he request, or?
sure, yes, ma'am. So what happened was, when the first responders showed up,
Hold on 1 second, please.
thank you. When the first responders showed up, they started segregating the injured victims into the ones which were burns and more serious type of heat-induced injuries. And our client, Coronel, was segregated initially to go to the hospital. At some point, Exxon representatives showed up at the scene and said, no, these people are not going to the hospital, they're going to this clinic. And really what they did for him was they put some cream on there, popped some of the blisters, and sent him home. Well, as you know, as you can tell from the pictures, that the blisters have come back, and hopefully the delay in treatment will not lead in further scarring or infection. Because as you all know, in burn treatment, the key is to get in there and treat the wounds so that there's no complications. So what we're hoping is that we don't end up in a situation where our client is more scarred than he would have been, but for the delay in treatment.
Can we hear him talk a little bit about how that went down? You feeling like you needed to go to the ER, and the representative, what they did to keep you guys from going to the ER?
yeah, so I was in the ambulance, and like I said, I was getting my treatment, and I don't know, some of them, the Exxon guys or whatever, I don't know who they were, but they come and they pulled me out of there and was like, no, because they were about to pull off and take me to the ER. Then they said, no, he's coming with us. So they got me off, and then that's when they transported me to the occupational health care or whatever.
When you say they take you out, they don't want to take you out. Who was the ambulance or the paramedics that were taking you in?
It was Baytown, like I said, it was Baytown Fire Department and Baytown paramedics that showed up that were giving me the aid. And so we were about to pull off, I guess, to go to the ER. That's when we heard a knock on the door, and the Exxon guys were the ones that told me to get off, and then that's when they took me to their facility.
What clinic did they take you to?
They took me to occupational health care in Deer Park. It's off of Spencer and Center.
Deer Park, not Pasadena.
No, Deer Park, Texas. Yeah.
Do you know if anyone was taken to Pasadena?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, if you Google it, it'll probably come up.
Why do you believe these Exxon executives pulled him off of the ambulance and redirected the route?
Ma'am, in any type of industrial accident, if you have multiple workers that end up actually going into the hospital, that has some implications from OSHA. From OSHA investigative standpoint, as well as their liability insurance is concerned. So if you have a worker that's injured and they actually go into a hospital, that's considered a OSHA reportable event. If the worker gets injured and does not go into the hospital, that's not something that the employer or the facility owner has to report to OSHA. So really what it comes down to is whether OSHA Exxon had an incident where 37 employees got injured as a reportable incident versus non-reportable.
You're a contractor, how long have you been working at the plant?
Oh, that particular plant at Exxon.
Hold on.
We gotta keep moving on.
Yeah, we need to
And they've
keep
all
moving
gotta
the mic
face
so
the
that we
direction
can-
of the person who's
we
speaking.
can hear you.
Alright.
Go ahead, sir.
That particular plant, the BOP site, I've been there about 8 months. But I did work on the other side as well, the refinery side, so.
Was there any evacuation plan kind of implemented that you knew of, or emergency response kind of plan for 500 workers?
Yeah, sure, we call those rally points, and then you just gotta know where they're at, so. The first rally point is actually like right in front of our loft, so obviously I wasn't gonna run to that one, cause that one's way too close. So second one, well, it was way outside the gate, and that's the one I went to, just to get away from, all the explosions and stuff, so.
Any word from you on what may have caused the fire?
I have no idea.
But otherwise, it seemed like a properly run plant from the 8
Yeah.
months you've been there.
Yeah.
This
from
fire
what
was
I
just a
know.
tragic accident.
Yeah, from what I know.
Antonio, can we talk about how you're feeling today? How old are you? You know, in the lawsuit, they're talking about your future and what that may look like. So, paint a picture of what today is like for you.
It's been rough, it's been kind of, I'm still hurting, I got burned, and that day, it keeps playing through my mind, like, I've been in chemical plants for years, over 10 years, and this was the day that, that day I thought for sure I was dead, I was like, man, I'm dead, this is it, I'm gonna be burnt alive, and it's just something that goes through your mind.
Do you have a family that you need to
I
take
do,
care of?
yeah, yeah, I got 3 kids at home, 3 babies, and a wife, yeah. So, yeah, I got home, and the first thing I did, I just hugged my kids and kissed them.
Would you agree that as a contractor who works at these plants,
Mhm.
that this is the risk you understand that you take every day?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I knew what I signed up for,
But you expected better treatment afterwards.
Yeah, for sure, like, it was just like a joke, they just slap a little cream on it and, oh, you're good, it's like, I'm in pain, I'm hurting, I expect a little more, but.
Do you require physical therapy, or what is, you said slap some cream on it, so what else is
Yeah.
required for your injuries?
As far as I know, I don't know, I just know for the next, they told me for the next 4 to 5 weeks, I'm gonna keep going back, working with them. As of right now, I can't really close my left hand, but, hopefully throughout the weeks, maybe I can start, getting the feeling back, but as of right now, I don't know.
And what does Wood Group say, the company that you do work for?
I don't know, not much, I haven't really talked to them.
So do they tell you you're gonna think like a skin graft or something? What the doctors tell you?
Like I said, at this point, they're not really saying anything. I just go in every day, the past few days, couple days or whatever, put some cream on it, wrap it up, and that's pretty much it. They haven't said anything about that.
But this is your medical. This is not the clinic again. Or is the same clinic that you're going again? Or?
Yeah, it's their doctors that I'm going to, their clinic or whatever. So the guy told me it was just a light sunburn, and I looked at them and I was like, man, that's not a sunburn, man. That shit hurts, So.
Without the, can you say it again?
Yeah, the sunburn. So yeah, it did hurt.
Is the goal to stay working, to stay a crane operator? What would be the goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's all I've ever known. You know, somebody asked me, "Oh, well, do you plan on doing something else?" Or it's like, man, all I've ever known is chemical plants. I mean, you know, I knew what I signed up for. You know, and this is the way I make my money, provide, and take care of my family. It's
How
the way
old are you?
38.
And have you talked to any of the folks that you've worked with to check in and see how they're doing or what the mood is?
No, I haven't talked to any of the guys. I mean, I could probably reach out to some of them. Some of them were trying to reach out to me, but you know, I haven't really responded back.
Albert, ¿hablas español?
Yeah.
¿Nos puedes decir qué fue lo que pasó ese día?
Pues como te digo, se explotó la planta y me fui corriendo para el gate. You know, yo pensé que, you know, que me quemé el cuerpo. And pues me fui corriendo and I don't know what else to say.
¿Dónde estabas? ¿Qué fue lo que escuchaste? ¿Qué es lo que viste?
Pues miré el tanque que explotó, you know, and mucho lumbre and all that, and no sé, como te digo, me fui corriendo. Yo pensé, quité mi ropa porque yo pensé que estaba, you know, on fire, but mucha gente gritando, llorando, you know, and I just tried to get out of there as fast as I could. You know.
Cuéntanos, ¿cuál es el dolor? ¿Qué es lo que sientes en tu mano? ¿Qué es lo que tienes?
Pues estoy quemado todo el brazo y atrás de mi cabeza, en my neck, pero pues ahorita no se siente bien, ¿sabes? Estoy quemado, you know, I don't feel good, you know, but,
Y en ese momento te dieron atención médica y ¿qué pasó?
sí, me dieron, you know, me pusieron como crema y me taparon con esto y más pues soltaron, you know.
¿Piensas que fue lo correcto?
Pues no, not really. You know, yo pensé, you know, que eran doctores, pero no eran, you know, they're just medical assistants, I guess.
¿Qué te hubiese gustado que
Sí.
te hagan? ¿Qué te hubiese gustado que la empresa haga para mejorar tu herida?
Pues, I don't know, I guess a ver un doctor, you know, que me, I don't know, que me curan, I guess.
Tú dices que cuando estaban adentro de la ambulancia, escuchaste que alguien vino, se acercó y dijo que no te llevaran a ti al hospital.
Sí.
Eso fue lo que escuchaste.
Ajá, sí, me querían llevar para Baytown, para el ER, y me bajaron los Exxon, los gente de Exxon, me bajaron y lo dijeron a ellos que no me llevaban. Entonces me sacaron y ellos mismos me llevaron para occupational healthcare, ahí por I think it's Deer Park Capacity, ahí por la Spencer y la Center.
Pero no fue tratamiento médico como tal de emergencia, tú llevabas ya las quemaduras.
Sí, nomás me llevaron para la clínica.
¿Cuál es tu condición ahora? ¿Cómo te sientes en ese momento? ¿Qué quisieras que los dueños de esa empresa supieran?
Pues como te digo, ahorita no siento bien, o sea, estoy quemado, you know, tú sabes, I don't feel too good, but, you know, no puedo dormir porque todavía me duele la cabeza, you know, my head still hurts at night, but, you know.
¿Tú crees que ellos están tratando de decir como que esto no fue tan grave?
Sí, se me hace que sí, you know, y eso porque ellos tienen, yo sé que Exxon tienen su récord, pero, you know, para decir que no fui tanto, you know, es, you know, hay más gente quemados, you know, like, you know, more people got burned.
Can we talk about that, Antonio? Because this is the 4th chemical facility fire in Harris County in 5 months, and you're here today, but so many other people are at work at one of these facilities. What do you say to them, these guys who are just like you?
Yeah, I mean, this is the way we grew up. I mean, this is how we make our money and provide for our families. I mean, you know, to brothers and sisters out there, all that I can say is just be safe and live every day like, you know, it could be our last. Because that day I thought it was my last. So yeah, you know, don't take it for granted, you know, hug your kids and, you know, tell your wife you love her and that's it, you know.
Somebody speaking Spanish from you guys? No, no.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.